Welcome back, I'm Lor, you're watching Scarfing Scarves, and welcome to the 47th installment of Last Week Lolita News. At the top of the segment, Angelic Pretty has finally answered the question, what if restraint was only a concept? This offense is called Fleur Romance Dress Set, and given the fact that it's entirely sold out, I would like to take a moment to grieve for this general lack of taste. This dress looks like a bibbidi-bobbidi acid trip. Those gemstones were obviously the work of a drive-by bedazzling, and sources were mixed on whether or not putting romance in the name was a matter of cruel irony, given that any Prince Charming worth his salt would die of old age before he managed to get through 50 layers of plastic and lace. Some say he's still tugging forlornly at her skirt, others say he gave up 5 minutes in and went to track down some chick who wasn't wearing the frock equivalent of Fort Knox. Speaking of finding someone to frack, Atelier Pierrot has participated in the La Forêt Blue event to the tune of producing 2 new OPs by the name of Nun and Rain. Nun is particularly well titled due to the fact that anyone zipped into this thing isn't getting out, unassisted by God himself. Why did anyone think a back zipper was a good idea? And those fortunate enough to be double-jointed risk excommunication on accusations of being possessed by the devil. Props to Rain for at least having full shoring, minus points for being high-waisted enough that anything above a B cup is going to be launched into orbit the very moment you tie that belt. Pretty sure that's frowned upon in the sisterhood, so an A to the upper side and you'll at least be historically accurate. Moving on to more pressing questions, has Triple Fortune been touring my nightmares, or are they just pulling our collective legs with the most recent edition of Journey to the Clusterverse, What to Do After You've Thrown the Kitchen Sink? This particular edition is inspired by a flower, and the only thing more frightening is the fact that it comes complete with a second announcement that whatever this is now a thing. This looks like an accusation of cultural appropriation waiting to happen. Does the wooden fan come standard, or do I have to pay for the final piece that will have online mobs gunning for my head? Best of luck to any who are buying. May the odds be ever in your favor. Moving right along, for our last release, a non-EGL brand has come out of left field to answer the question no one asked. What if we decapitated a bunch of rabbits and put the results on a bag? This reporter is certainly not hopping on this trend anytime soon, but considering Mary Jenny has designed another version for La Forêt Blue, it's safe to assume that there is at least one person who will spend hard-earned cash on this testament to human depravity. That person is Elmer Fudd, and sources say he is ecstatic to finally accessorize the way he feels inside. Finally, as that about wraps up the week, no one has set off anything to knock the species down a few pegs on the pole of dignity. We return to that website everyone loves to hate in a bit called What to Faux Lace Market. The premise is simple. Eyebrows here. Find something that confuses, disturbs, or makes me question the whole of humanity, and you benefit from the dark mark it leaves on my soul. So without further ado, let's get this going. What the fuck's that? You've heard of Usakumya, now get ready for the punk goth handmade sock monkey with a polyfill fiber. Her name is Cherry, she may contain cat hair, and the fact that she's unevenly stuffed and dripping with hot glue gives her more character in her lack of a little finger than in Usa Elitist Kumya's entire furry body. Also, you can't fit a single thing in this bag because it's not one, making her far superior in minimalism than this species' confused bear's cell phone sized chasm could ever hope to claim. Also, she's only $30, or she was until the untimely demise of this listing, likely the very moment of any moderator who could claim to be even half conscious noticed there was a giant hot pink monkey in our midst, because this was a thing that was listed on an EGL sales site. That is all the time we have for tonight, and before you flee this space to get the proverbial monkey off your back, you should know that this show is sponsored in part by BB&B. Their deco jewelry is fracking gorgeous, they make macarons into art, and you can check out their shop at bbnb.net. I'd like to take a moment to thank the patrons for continuing to further this show's parade of nonsense. Thanks again, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Except I won't, because this isn't my channel. Bye! Oh my god! Good luck editing that, Tyler. Have fun. I'm so sorry. I'm overwhelmed by the amount of words. I gotta lean to one side because she's gonna put it like... What the fuck's that?
I like how you're wearing just an excessive amount of BB&B.
I gotta support her brand and her sponsor. I'm trying to think of how she's how she would say it, like what she's meaning to say. Like how she would where her fluctuation, like how she would say it.
She tends to do the da, 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 da. Like she doesn't tend to end it high.
So do you think I should end it low? Yeah, I'll try that. Making her far superior in middle. No!